We are live with a fresh show, a clean show today, because I've got Brandon Bentley on the line, and he's the cleanest person I have had on my show ever, because he is known as the car wash guru. So at least your ride will be clean, and probably that goes with personal hygiene. Welcome to the show today, Mr. Brandon Bentley.
Hey, glory be to God. I like to go by Bentley Brandon, but Bentley is my real name.
Okay.
I just reverse it for the business. It's easy to remember.
Well, Bentley stands out a lot because the first thought is either that or a Rolls Royce, but Bentley seemed to be more popular today. Because I remember years ago, it's just a small story. I went to school with, you remember the old song Rolls Royce, or they were a group called Rolls Royce, and they were talking about the car wash.
Yeah,
the car wash song. I went to school.
That's the what, the 60s,
70s. Yeah, I'm older than I look. It's called Hair Dye.
Well, it was the late 60s. I was thinking Rolls Royce, that song with Richard Pryor. It was the first car wash show.
Yeah, car wash. They had the car wash movie. It was a car wash movie that took place in South Central LA, but there was a song around it by a group called Rolls Royce. So that's what made me think of you. And then, of course, we've got Bentley Brandon. You start with the brand first before we get to the name of the Brandon. But we've got a brand name of Bentley. So let's go ahead. Yeah. How did you come up with the car wash game show? Sounds so interesting.
Honestly, I want to give God credit because I feel like I get downloaded information from heaven. I'm just going to be honest.
Good.
Over 20 years now, I've been doing this 23 years professionally.
Okay.
And I just got sick and tired of the everyday, not to discredit my customers or clients or people out there that's doing it, but I just got sick and tired of just the boring, come get your car done. I said, we deserve entertainment, because I kept looking at people, my guys, and then other car wash companies that were out there, and they like to compete. They like to say they're going to do this, they're going to do that, they're going to, I got a couple world records, and people will call me and say, oh, I'm a washer, I'm not going to cuss on the show, but they'll say all these different things. And God planted in my spirit, wash wars. Let's compete. Let's bet. Okay. Let's see who's the best. And at that time, it was a guy, his name is Offset. He's a member of a rap group called Migos, platinum group. And I extended an invitation to him because he was putting out there, talking all kind of smack. Anybody who want to bet him can come on TV, whatever kind of challenge you have, they can do the challenge, and whatever the grand prize is, they'll win. So I reached out to him, and man, COVID-19 hit, so we couldn't do the challenge. And I was just so bummed out about it. And I just started thinking, like, I need to make this just anybody, everybody that want to win some money. And I put up $10,000 for the first season. Anybody that want to win some money, 10 contestants doing car wash tasks on clients, customers. I mean, you name it. Everybody got a car. So I reached out to different brands, and I said, we're going to do different challenges, different car wash challenges. I reached out to a couple other people because I was a little nervous in the process. I wanted to reach out to some people who had experience. So I reached out to Pimp My Ride Exhibit, and unfortunately, he gave me a lot of jewels, but he said he couldn't do the show. And I just said, you know what? I'm going to do this 100%. I'm not going to give no kind of intermission about it. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. So we shot the first season. You guys got to see it. We did have a winner. And if you've seen it, you might bust out laughing because it's funny, because there's a lot of people that can't wash cars.
Okay.
but money make you do some crazy things. So uh, we had an officer on there. His name is Officer Brown. And of course, I started inviting celebrity guests and influencers and people who, that have, we got a politician as well. And I wanted them to judge it because, listen, if you ever get your car washed, you're going to watch the person wash your car. It's your baby.
Sure.
And these are expensive cars. We had a Rolls Royce in the first one, two Porsches. We had a different car, and we had a cop car. And Officer Brown, of course, he'll take you to jail if you can outwash him. So we wanted to bring a different twist. And, the concept, again, I give it credit to my profession, but God just downloaded it in my spirit. And I was just like, man, I kept seeing the show, and I was like, this show is big. It's the Spanish version. And we done shot 2 seasons already, and it's available on watchwars.com.
That's great.
But we created the show off of, honestly, my experience of washing cars, man. I mean, it's entertaining to see what's inside of people's cars as well as people washing cars. And then if you intensify it and you add, hey, it's a cash prize of $10,000. I mean, we got grandma signing up. We got little kids. You name it. Everybody's want to sign up. Everybody wants to show what they got. But there's a lot of people that can't wash cars.
Well, that's good. Well, how would your friends describe you?
My friends will describe me very creative. I'm going to be honest. This is a passion of mine. And very creative, meaning, if I get a thought, I create it. I don't try to waste time in a sense of sitting back. Very ambitious. Got a letter from President Obama, letter from Donald Trump, 2 letters from Donald Trump, governors. We created National Car Wash Day. Innovative. I think my friends would probably say, I'm probably one of the best friends to have because if they got a mess in the car, they know who to call. And especially with their kids. I train kids on how to keep the car clean. So I think my friends are very, very happy with my friendship as well as my integrity. And, hey, I go a little above and beyond. Sometimes they want 100%, I give 1,000%. So,
well, that's great. So what is your greatest accomplishment? And this gives you the opportunity to talk about something in business or personal.
Well, I would like to say both, in both categories. I say one of my greatest, honestly, is this show. This show was, I say many things. Washing 100 cars in 8 hours for a world record. I thought I was going to die, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. And doing it 3 times a year, 3 times in a year, on my birthday, on National Car Wash Day. I mean, I think that was just completely designed by God, the universe. But the show wanted this show not only just to do 2 seasons, but now it's expanding to more. Initially, I'll be honest with you, 5 years ago, well, I'd say probably 6. This is 2021 going 2022. 2015, I came up with the idea. So in 2021, I was able to shoot 2 seasons, full seasons. That's a great accomplishment. Being a father, I want to be honest with you. I mean, it's all this stuff is tangible. You can hold it, you can touch it, but it's nothing like my blood, letting them see me be better than my father. I mean, me inspiring them to achieve the greatest limits in their life, in their heart. My kids, my daughter, she has a magazine. I mean, she's only 12. My son, he's the producer of Watch Wars. He's actually coming on site. He picks characters with me. He actually decides on who wants to go to the next. Who goes to the next round. He's been watching me wash cars for all of his life. So just having them involved in the business, it's becoming a family empire. I mean,
That's
we
great.
love it.
That's great. What do you wish you had known when you started out? If you could go back, 2020 hindsight.
I'm going to be honest with you. Failure. is the greatest key to success.
So true. So true.
Learning your failure, learning that failure is not the end. In the beginning, nobody told me failing would hurt. Nobody told me be prepared for failure. Nobody told me to embrace it. It was just like, man, I failed and I wanted to quit. But learning, if I would tell myself or anybody listening, your failures is going to open the opportunity to try it a different way or keep failing where you can eventually succeed at it.
Okay. And what are you curious about right now?
You know, that's a broad question. That's a broad question. I think my curiosity right now will be sitting down at ABC or Fox Network and them sending me a check across the table with so many millions saying they want a partnership. I'm curious though what that feels like. I'm actually curious.
Me too, pal. You're not alone. I'd like that experience too.
Yeah,
you're not alone there.
Hey, well, let's go together, Mitch. I mean,
let's go. Let's walk in power for in numbers. Power in numbers. Okay.
I'm really curious of what that feels like. Honestly, I'm, the afterlife. I'm curious of what heaven is.
Well, let's not worry about that now. We've got a lot to do here. Let's worry about that when the time comes, because we don't have the ability to choose when we punch out.
Well, hey, you said
beyond our control, right?
It crossed the mind.
Okay. Well, what's something you failed at? Because you already mentioned something in this regard, but what would you deem as a failure, and did you learn from it?
Wow. Well, transparency. My first location I started at, I failed at it, and meaning I was asked to leave, and it wasn't off of it wasn't that I wasn't paying rent. It wasn't that we wasn't successful. We didn't have clients. I think I ran for city council, which was another thing I failed at. And I involved the business with politics. Even though in business, you're going to have to be involved with politics. But I actually put myself on the forefront and put my business last. And in regards, I failed at both and I lost my business.
Well, did you learn from it though?
I learned so much about it that I said, you know what, I'll never be a politician again. I'd rather be a lobbyist.
Well, here's the good news. That isn't a failure then, because if you learn from a learning experience, and it's just a learning experience. That's what it was. It's just like maybe you're not suited. You have to have a certain skin color of really thick. It's like it has its own unique skin color. I mean, we have different races, but to be a politician, it's its own unique skin color and texture, I would say. And it's unique to its own scheme. And if you can't endure all, because I think it gets red because of all the beatings you take on the, because as a politician, boy, do they get tarred and feathered, was what I was thinking of. It's like, okay, they get so beat on, and you almost, Teflon, that's the color.
Yeah, Teflon.
That's it. I was like, wait a minute, I was trying to think color. No, it's like you got to have Teflon. Yeah. Right. You got to have Teflon skin color and texture in order to be a politician. And that wouldn't be for me, because I have a certain amount of feedback I can take, but you don't. Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest, I said it before, you got to get comfortable with lying to people.
Yeah. Well,
you can't serve everybody needs.
Well, we're in agreement there. So here's my favorite question that I ask everybody. And I'm sure you're a student of history. I don't know what period or what interested you, but if you could have coffee with any historical figure, who would you choose?
Wow.
He or she has to be in the afterlife.
Wow. Man.
Yeah. Well, you could pick a couple. Just think about, is it, for example, would it be a Dr. Martin Luther King? Would it be Abraham Lincoln? Would it be Jesus? I've had all sorts of answers in that.
Oh, well, of course, Jesus. But hey, I taught I taught him every day.
Okay, well, let's leave him out. But let's say somebody that's a major person. But let's talk about somebody that actually may not have had the God status.
You know, I will probably say, man, that's a hard. I mean, Martin Luther King. Yeah, but
as an example,
I would probably say Tupac. I would kind of want to.
Wow.
I would probably want to have a conversation with him because he had an impact that still is alive. Now, there's a lot of other people too, but for as my timeline, I mean, I grew up in the 90s and he was big in the 90s for me.
Got it. Okay. So Tupac it is. All right.
Yeah, Tupac. And you know, because I feel like he impacted the culture. I mean, there's a lot of people who impact cultures.
Absolutely. Him and Biggie Smalls, right? Weren't they the two?
Well, not Biggie, but Tupac and probably Bob Marley.
Oh, now Bob Marley would be cool to meet.
Yeah.
I used to listen to him. I loved his music, boy. I put me in a trance. You know.
Well, you know what? Let me add a couple. Reverend Ike. I think they call him Reverend Ike Koda.
Yep.
He was gone, and he changed my life in the beginning of my whole entrepreneurship. Reverend Ike, his mind body science.
Okay.
I mean, it just transformed me. But I think
those are some good ones. Those are some good ones. You can ponder that the rest of the day if you like. I mean, I know.
Yeah, because I wasn't ready for that. That's
the beauty of a show. Got to put you on your feet a little bit. You know?
that was. Yeah, I mean, probably Marilyn. Oh, Michael Jackson. I'm sorry. I gotta have one.
Woo-hoo,
woo-hoo. Yeah, me and Mike gotta talk. I heard he had a famous rat called Ben. Like, how did your rat become famous?
Well, he sang the song. Now, this is before your time. I'm the same age as Michael. I'm 2 years younger than Michael. I was born in 1960, so he was 58. There was a movie out called Ben. It was the story of a rat that he sang a song about, and he had this Ben rat as a pet. Mike, he was always a little different. He was a different cat altogether.
Of course.
But he sang this song about Ben, and it was a love song about his pet rat called Ben. Yeah. That was kind of bizarre. That was out, I think, in the 70s, if I'm to guess correct, late 60s, early 70s, when he sang that song. But that was a while ago. So now let's bring it a little more current, if we may. Who's your most important professional? Who has been your most important professional mentor?
That I personally know, or?
Yes. Yeah, you. Who's mentored you that you would have gone to for advice, let's just say? Somebody's been an inspiration.
I mean, it's so many inspirations, but it's honestly, I would say they plant seeds. It's not a consistent, let me tap in, because they're busy. But it's so many, Cedric Entertainer, John Sal. I mean, some of these people I grew up seeing on TV, so just having access to them and be able to talk to them. Kanye West. Man, it's so many, because it's like, from my point of view, I'm down here trying to get there, but these guys are already there. So just to have the access, Jamal Bryant, he's a pastor of a mega church here in New Birth. He's a client of mine. T.I. and his family. Just to give me, insights on what I need to do as I'm steadily increasing. Man, so many people. I mean, most of the videos you can see on my page. Exhibit, telling me about the car show, just telling me to go for it. You never know where you start. You started out watching cars, and then you got a game show. That's pretty rad, like he said. It's so many different people, man. It just, I just try to.
So you've had it from a few people. That's good. All right. If you could go back to your 18-year-old self, what and one piece of advice, what would it be to give the 18-year-old Brandon Bentley or Bentley
Stay
Brandon?
focused. Stay focused. Don't
Okay.
get distracted. It's so many distractions on your journey. You can get distracted, and that could be a 2-year delay. That could be a 5-year delay.
Okay.
Don't worry. Don't worry about the women. The women will come.
Oh boy, buddy, that's a separate podcast. Okay, we can have a long conversation, but just not today.
Yeah.
Because I'd love to chime in there. What's your plan to achieve your goals that you've set out in front of you?
Have faith and execute faith. Faith without works is dead. Just have faith. Keep working these shows. Keep being honest. Keep being transparent, and keep your integrity. You don't have to do something to get ahead that you won't be proud of, or somebody get dirt on you. Just keep being who you are that got you here.
If you had to write a book tomorrow, what would you write about?
You know, I got several books now, but this book will be called Prayer Changes Things, How Prayer Changes Things, because I feel like when you pray, the answer is already there. A lot of times we have no ideas, but we need the idea to drop in our spirit, or we need the connection. And a lot of times we're one prayer away from things. So, you know, especially in the pandemic, it's a lot of people going through things. So sometimes we need that comfort just to pray.
Okay. And what's one question you wish I had asked, and how would you have answered?
Where do I see myself, or
where do you see yourself in 5 years? I don't want to go beyond that because that's too far.
Billionaire Bentley.
Billionaire Bentley.
Yeah.
Then you need to go out and get that domain name. I love that for you. Billionaire
I have it
Bentley
already.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then you put it into action. That's fantastic. Okay.
Billionaire
How do you
Bentley.
get there? Okay.
I got it. Hey, I'm a maniac on these domains. That's another. I sell domains too.
Okay. Well, you are the consummate entrepreneur. That's fantastic.
I have if you don't mind, Jesus forgive me for my sins.com.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, we're certainly in Atlanta today. This is where a lot of churches exist. That's great. Now, how can I support you? I know we've got BentleyBrandon.com for the people that aren't along with the live cast here. It's BentleyBrandon.com for the listeners, and that will be available in the show notes. BentleyBrandon.com with the EY, Bentley. Some people would miss that. Unless they own a Bentley, then they wouldn't mess it up, right? So BentleyBrandon.com. How can I support you to help you achieve where you're going? Not where you want to go, where you're going.
You're right.
What's that?
Washwars.com. We got the television series.
Okay. All right.
Other than that, of course, we got the car wash course.
Go ahead.
Sorry,
there was a little pause. Go ahead. Repeat that, please.
We got the car wash course on BentleyBrandon.com. I'm training young entrepreneurs on how to make money in your neighborhood. Everybody has a car. And of course, hey, we're doing a car wash tour. We sanitizing. We got vehicle sanitation. We're just educating, entertaining, and servicing the public with car washing.
Okay, great. And what would you say about your guest experience on the show today?
Man, awesome, Mitch. You're amazing. Thank you for great questions. Your energy was great. You told me to prop my camera up. You know, I'm not too good at the podcast. I'm just now getting inside. You made me feel very comfortable.
Great.
Thank you for having me. Well,
you've been great. And Bentley Brandon, well, we can always reverse it, Brandon Bentley, depending on the mood, but we'll say BentleyBrandon.com. Tell us, what's your final word? How do you want to leave the viewers and listeners today?
Hey, keep going. Don't quit. Whatever dream you have, whatever ambition you have, your faith in your work, your faith in people, keep going. Don't quit. There's plenty good people out here, despite what we see on TV. The pandemic has everybody's crazy. Everybody's going insane. keep going, don't quit. We will get past this stage in life. I'm a spiritual guy, as you can tell by the podcast. Keep God in the mix and increase, meaning one step in front of each other. Don't quit on your journey, because if you lay down, you're going to get left behind. But if you keep going, you're going to get ahead. So I'm Bentley. I'm gone.
Well, that's great. Well, thank you for your time today. And I'll certainly have you on as a guest again once you have those $1 million checks sitting in front of you from one of the big media outlets. And I know it'll happen for you. So thank you so much. And I know everybody enjoyed your time. Mitch. Your energy was fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you, Mitch.